going on, guys? It's your boy Jesus V, and today we are here at the Equinox in Rockefeller Center, and today's video is going to be based on shoulder mobility, corrective strategies to avoid shoulder impingement and shoulder injury, key exercises that you should be using in your regimen to get strong and clear defined shoulders. To help me with today's video and film and get the exercises is my brother, my boy, for the past 10 years, JR. You might have seen him in the last video that we did, actually the very first video that we did, the motivational video.
Small minds cannot fathom monumental feats. Now go and take what's yours.
And he's going to be playing a new key role in the videos that we're going to be putting out to really push and put out the Mission Excalibur brand. You ready? Yeah! Let's go. Do this! Alright, so the shoulder joint itself is one of the most flexible joints in our body because not only does it give us shoulder flexion and shoulder extension, it also allows us to adduct, bringing the shoulder closer to the midline of the body, and then abduct, bringing the shoulder more away from the body. And even aside from that, we can internally and externally rotate. So it's really one of the most mobile and flexible joints in our body. Alright, so now what we're going to do, this is something that you can do at home. It's just a quick shoulder mobility clearance, just to see how much range of motion you actually do have in your shoulders. So what we're going to do is we're going to be with my personal trainer hat on, and then JR is going to act as my client. So what I'm going to have you do is stick your hand out. Alright, so now let's bring your hand close to the camera. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure, let's bring your hand down, we're going to measure from the distal crease, or the point where his wrist and the bottom of his hands meet. So I have just some measuring tape. You could use any type of measuring tape, or a ruler even if you wanted to. And we're going to get that measurement, right? So we're going to start right at that crease between the wrist and the hand, and we're going to measure to the tip of his longest finger, which is his middle finger, and it's at about 7 inches. So alright, so now what we want to do is measure his shoulder mobility against this distance. So what I'm going to have you do is put your palms face forward. Right, and now I want you to put your thumbs inside your palms, and now close your fingers on. Alright, so we're going to test this shoulder first, the right shoulder. So your right hand is going up and down your back, and then the left is going to go from behind and up your back. And then wherever they land, keep them there, and I'm going to measure wherever you're at. Okay. Well, turn to the side. Turn to the side for me. Turn to the side, perfect. Up your back. There you go. Go as far down as you can, keep it right there. Now, we're going to measure to see if he's within that 7-inch range, and he's not. So we can already tell that JR has a little bit of limited range of motion in his right shoulder. So now put your hands back down. So now we're going to test the left shoulder and see if he has a little bit more range of motion on the left. Alright, so we're going to do that same motion from the left. There we go. So yeah, so he has even less range of motion in his left shoulder. So the measurement that we tested was 7 inches, and right now this distance is about 11. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try to implement some strategies on how he can improve his range of motion in both of his shoulders. Alright, so now that we know that JR has a limited range of motion in his shoulder, the next thing we want to rule out is shoulder impingement. For a lot of people, they can have shoulder impingement and not even really notice it because they're so used to having limited range of motion in their shoulder, and sometimes they'll feel the pain but will completely ignore it. So what I'm going to have you do is we're going to test the right shoulder first. So you're going to take your right hand, alright, and you're going to place your palm on your shoulder. Place your palm on your shoulder. Perfect. Now I want your palm to stay on your shoulder. Now what I want you to do is take your elbow and bring it towards your face. Keep the palm on the shoulder. Palm on the shoulder. Do you feel any pain? No. Alright, so there's no pain, so we know that he doesn't have a shoulder impingement on his right shoulder. Now let's do the same with the other one. pain?
No.
All right, perfect. So that's just a quick test that you can do at home to see if you may have a shoulder impingement. Feel any pain? You might want to go see a doctor. All right, so now that we've ruled out shoulder impingement, the next step is to improve that. But before we do that, we want to know exactly what we're dealing with when we are talking about the shoulder itself. So when you're talking about the shoulder, you have the deltoid muscle, which is on like the outer portion of your shoulder, and then you have all the muscles of the rotator cuff. So these muscles are really important because they actually keep your shoulder stabilized. It's one of the few joints that depends on its muscles to keep the joint stabilized. What I'm gonna have JR do now is a quick warm up of the work that we're about to do. All right, so the first warm up we're gonna have JR do is to target the infraspinatus, and what he's gonna do is keep that. We're gonna use a light resistance band just for now, just to show you the movement. We're gonna keep that elbow close and tucked to the midline, and then we're just gonna rotate that forearm out as much as you can, putting all the tension on your shoulders. Perfect. So now that JR's executed the external rotation, we're going to jump to the next arm and execute the internal rotation. And all of these are targeting those muscles that I mentioned earlier in the rotator cuff. Close to the midline, bring it in. There you go. Perfect. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just jamming out to pop. See, the music here at Equinox, you might be listening to some country bunking thing, or next thing you know, you're listening to pop. You never know what you're going to hear. All right. The next thing we're going to do is implement 2 corrective strategies that you can easily do from anywhere, from home, from the gym, wherever you are. The first one, what we're going to do is just going to be an overhead press, but it's really important that you keep your back pinned up against the wall. So what we're going to do is we're going to press our arms against the wall. So if you have limited range of motion, as soon as you press your hands and arms completely against the wall, you're going to feel tension. Now the second thing I'm going to have JR do, come over here JR. So now naturally what most people do here is they have a gap. So I want you to catch me from the side here, all the way from the side. Now watch what I do. What I do is I bring my I rotate my pelvis forward so there's no gap in my lumbar spine. So now my back is completely against the wall, my arms, my shoulders, my hands completely against the wall. I'm feeling the tension and I'm raising my arms up, making sure that I keep those points of contact. So the points of contact are going to be your lumbar spine throughout your entire back, your elbows, your hands, and your forearms. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, you see I have my Donatello spear stick.
Whole parish bit out, okay?
What I'm gonna do with this is very easy, just for a corrective strategy on the shoulders, is I'm gonna just rotate it back and forth. So I'm gonna basically be going from flexion to extension throughout the shoulder. And to make it a little bit more challenging, you want to come closer to the middle of the stick. And the closer you come to the middle of the stick, the more challenging it's going to be to get your shoulder in and out from flexion and extension. Just going to do this for a few times. All right, now we're good. All right, so now that we've shown you the warm-up and the corrective strategies to make sure you improve your shoulder mobility, we're going from personal trainer Jesus V to bodybuilding Jesus V. But before we do, I understand that different people train for different reasons. So you have your people that are training for strength endurance. You have your people that are trained for hypertrophy to build lean muscle. Then you also have your people that are trained for maximal strength. Maybe they're training for like a strength competition or even power. So instead of me giving you my recommended reps and sets for what I do, on the screen right now, I'm going to give you the recommended sets and rep range for each of those categories. And you choose how you want to use those variables in your training because everybody trains different. Now that we got that taken care of, we're going from personal trainer Jesus V, and we're about to get it. Let's see that.
Are you okay?
What's up?
Okay.
Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. A big shout out and thanks to my boy JR, my bro. He helped me with the filming and the warm up stuff. You'll be seeing a lot more of JR. You want to say anything to the people before we close out?
Well, just do exercises, do it right, and try your best.
There you
Keep your
go.
health number one. That's it.
There you go. That's really good advice. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and really comment. If you took the time to sit through the whole video, let me know how you feel, if you enjoy this type of content, because on this fitness channel, we're trying to be as diverse and as versatile as possible. So 1 minute you may get exercise science, the next minute you may get a crazy fitness challenge or drunk sense versus fit sense. So the comments really allow me to understand what my audience likes. So again, thank you, share, like, subscribe, and as always, until next time, your insecurities. Peace. But I think for the thumbnail we may need the 50mm. So let's try one like up close, like exercises that you should be implementing into your let's rewind. No, that's fine.
Bye.